Welcome to Framework, the podcast that makes the NIST cybersecurity framework practical, engaging, and accessible. Whether you're a cybersecurity professional, business leader, or simply curious about how organizations defend against cyber threats, this series is for you. This podcast is inspired by a comprehensive guide to the NIST Cybersecurity Framework 2.0, a best-selling resource written by cybersecurity expert Dr. Jason Edwards and trusted by professionals worldwide. In each episode, we'll leverage a few insights from Jason's extensive book to dive deep into CSF 2.0, unpacking every function, category, and subcategory with real-world applications you can immediately use. If you're enjoying this episode and want to learn more, head over to cyberauthor.me to grab your copy of the book and access additional resources to enhance your cybersecurity journey. You can also visit baremetalcyber.com, where over 2 million people last year explored expert insights, articles, and practical tools across a wide range of cybersecurity topics. GV.OV-01, Reviewing Cybersecurity Strategy Outcomes. GV.OV-01 ensures that organizations regularly evaluate the effectiveness of their cybersecurity strategies, measuring security performance, identifying gaps, and refining cybersecurity initiatives to enhance risk management and operational resilience. This subcategory belongs to the Govern function within the National Institute of Standards and Technology Cybersecurity Framework, version 2.0, emphasizing that cybersecurity strategies must be continuously reviewed and improved to ensure alignment with evolving threats, regulatory requirements, and business objectives. Without structured cybersecurity strategy reviews, organizations risk operating under ineffective security assumptions, failing to detect weaknesses in security programs, and missing opportunities for cybersecurity enhancement and innovation. Reviewing cybersecurity strategy outcomes ensures that organizations validate the impact of their security investments, measure the effectiveness of implemented controls, and make data-driven decisions to enhance cybersecurity posture. A structured approach to cybersecurity performance evaluation allows organizations to track security incidents, assess risk mitigation effectiveness, and refine security strategies based on measurable performance indicators. Organizations that establish structured cybersecurity review cycles, enforce continuous security strategy assessments, and integrate security performance analytics into decision-making improve their ability to adapt to emerging cyber risks, optimize cybersecurity investments, and maintain regulatory compliance. Multiple stakeholders play a role in cybersecurity strategy outcome reviews. Executive leadership and board members provide oversight, review security performance reports, and ensure that cybersecurity strategy assessments align with business objectives. Chief Information Security Officers and security risk management teams conduct structured cybersecurity performance evaluations, analyze security effectiveness metrics, and refine security policies and controls based on review findings. Compliance officers and risk auditors ensure that cybersecurity strategy reviews align with regulatory requirements, contractual obligations, and industry security best practices, reducing compliance risks and legal exposure. Cybersecurity strategy outcomes are reviewed through formalized security performance measurement frameworks, continuous security risk assessments, and real-time security monitoring solutions. This includes establishing key cybersecurity performance indicators, integrating security strategy evaluations into executive decision-making, and leveraging AI-driven analytics to assess cybersecurity control effectiveness. Organizations that fail to review cybersecurity strategy outcomes risk overlooking security weaknesses, failing to address evolving threats, and maintaining ineffective security controls, leading to increased cyber risks and operational disruption. Several key terms define cybersecurity strategy outcome reviews and their role in enterprise security governance. Security performance metrics ensure that organizations measure the effectiveness of cybersecurity initiatives, tracking risk reduction, incident response efficiency, and compliance status. Risk-based security assessments ensure that cybersecurity strategy reviews prioritize evaluation of high-risk security areas, ensuring that critical vulnerabilities are addressed promptly. Continuous security monitoring enables organizations to detect deviations from expected security outcomes, identifying gaps in security performance in real time. Cybersecurity maturity assessments ensure that security strategy reviews evaluate how well cybersecurity capabilities have evolved, measuring the organization's ability to adapt to emerging threats. Strategic security improvement plans outline structured approaches to refining cybersecurity strategies based on review findings, ensuring continuous enhancement of security governance and resilience. Challenges in reviewing cybersecurity strategy outcomes often lead to inconsistent security evaluations, poor alignment between security performance and business objectives, and failure to address security gaps effectively. One common issue is lack of structured cybersecurity performance measurement, where organizations fail to define security outcome metrics, making it difficult to assess the effectiveness of cybersecurity initiatives. Another issue is failure to integrate cybersecurity reviews into executive decision-making, where security assessments remain disconnected from enterprise governance, limiting leadership engagement in cybersecurity strategy improvements. Some organizations mistakenly believe that cybersecurity strategy reviews are only necessary after major security incidents, without recognizing that continuous evaluation of cybersecurity performance is essential to proactive security risk management and long-term resilience. When organizations regularly review cybersecurity strategy outcomes, they improve security effectiveness, enhance regulatory compliance, and strengthen enterprise-wide cyber resilience. A structured cybersecurity strategy review model ensures that cybersecurity initiatives are continuously refined, security investments are optimized based on performance data, and cybersecurity governance remains aligned with business growth strategy. Organizations that implement structured cybersecurity performance evaluations, enforce risk-driven security strategy reviews, and leverage AI-driven security outcome analytics, develop a comprehensive cybersecurity governance framework that evolves dynamically in response to emerging threats and evolving business requirements. Organizations that fail to conduct regular cybersecurity strategy reviews face significant operational, financial, and compliance risks. Without structured evaluations, security teams lack clear insights into the effectiveness of existing controls, making it difficult to determine whether cybersecurity investments provide sufficient risk mitigation. A common issue is relying on outdated security metrics, where organizations continue to measure cybersecurity performance using static benchmarks that do not account for emerging threats, new attack vectors, or technological advancements. Another major challenge is insufficient executive engagement in security reviews, where cybersecurity assessments are conducted only at the operational level without strategic oversight from leadership, resulting in a lack of enterprise-wide risk alignment and budget prioritization. By regularly reviewing cybersecurity strategy outcomes, organizations ensure that security policies, risk management efforts, and investment strategies remain aligned with evolving threats and business needs. A structured cybersecurity review process enhances risk visibility, improves decision-making, and enables organizations to proactively adapt to the rapidly changing cyber threat landscape. Organizations that implement structured cybersecurity performance review cycles, enforce risk-based security assessments, and integrate cybersecurity strategy refinement into enterprise governance improve their ability to optimize cybersecurity operations, enhance compliance readiness, and sustain a resilient security posture. At the partial tier, organizations lack formal cybersecurity strategy review processes, leading to informal security performance tracking, limited analysis of cybersecurity effectiveness, and an absence of structured security performance reporting. Cybersecurity outcome reviews are handled inconsistently, with no clear methodologies for assessing security strategy success or identifying security gaps. A small business at this level may conduct sporadic security audits only after incidents occur, leading to reactive decision-making rather than proactive security strategy refinement. At the risk-informed tier, organizations begin to develop structured cybersecurity performance evaluation processes, ensuring that security strategies are periodically assessed and adjusted based on known risks. However, cybersecurity strategy reviews may still be infrequent, relying on predefined compliance checklists rather than real-time security performance data. A mid-sized company at this level may conduct annual cybersecurity performance reviews to assess policy adherence, but fail to integrate threat intelligence data into security strategy refinement, leading to slow adaptation to emerging cyber threats. At the repeatable tier, organizations implement a fully structured cybersecurity performance evaluation framework, ensuring that cybersecurity strategy reviews are conducted regularly, security performance metrics are well-defined, and security effectiveness assessments are standardized across all business units. Cybersecurity governance is formalized, with leadership actively engaged in cybersecurity strategy evaluations, ensuring that risk-based decision-making drives security investments. A financial institution at this stage may leverage security analytics platforms to assess the effectiveness of implemented cybersecurity controls, track risk reduction metrics, and refine security policies based on review findings. At the adaptive tier, organizations employ AI-driven security performance analysis, predictive cybersecurity risk modeling, and real-time security strategy adaptation frameworks to dynamically adjust cybersecurity governance based on evolving risk intelligence and business transformations. Cybersecurity strategy reviews are fully integrated into enterprise-wide governance models, ensuring that security investments, risk assessments, and control implementations remain continuously optimized. A global e-commerce company at this level may deploy real-time cybersecurity performance dashboards, AI-driven risk forecasting models, and automated compliance tracking tools to ensure that security strategy refinements are driven by continuous analysis and evolving regulatory requirements. Reviewing cybersecurity strategy outcomes aligns with multiple controls in the National Institute of Standards and Technology Special Publication 800-53, ensuring that organizations implement structured cybersecurity governance models and continuous security performance evaluation mechanisms. One key control is PM-9 risk management strategy, which requires organizations to define structured risk evaluation methodologies, ensuring that security strategies are continuously assessed for effectiveness and alignment with business priorities. A healthcare provider implementing this control may conduct quarterly cybersecurity performance reviews, ensuring that data protection strategies, incident response protocols, and risk assessment models remain aligned with evolving cybersecurity threats. Another key control is RA-2 security categorization, which mandates that organizations classify security assets based on risk exposure, ensuring that cybersecurity strategy reviews prioritize critical security functions and high-risk systems. A financial institution implementing this control may develop risk-based asset categorization frameworks that drive security strategy assessments, ensuring that high-value transaction systems receive priority security investment and ongoing performance evaluations. Cybersecurity strategy reviews also align with CA-7 continuous monitoring, which requires organizations to implement real-time monitoring and security performance tracking to identify weaknesses, assess the effectiveness of cybersecurity controls, and ensure compliance with evolving regulatory standards. This control ensures that organizations continuously analyze security strategy effectiveness, proactively detect deviations from expected cybersecurity outcomes, and adjust security policies accordingly. A multinational cloud services provider implementing this control may deploy automated threat detection platforms, real-time compliance dashboards, and AI-driven risk assessment tools to ensure that security performance is continuously evaluated and refined. These controls can be adapted based on organizational size, industry, and cybersecurity maturity. A small business may implement basic cybersecurity strategy review processes, ensuring that security policies are evaluated at least once per year based on historical incident data and compliance requirements. A large enterprise may deploy automated security strategy assessment platforms, predictive cybersecurity risk analytics, and continuous security performance tracking solutions to ensure that cybersecurity governance dynamically evolves based on real-time threat intelligence and emerging security risks. Organizations in highly regulated industries such as banking, healthcare, and critical infrastructure may require quarterly cybersecurity performance audits, executive-led cybersecurity review boards, and industry-driven cybersecurity benchmarking to ensure security strategies align with evolving regulatory mandates and industry standards. Auditors assess cybersecurity strategy reviews by evaluating whether organizations have structured, documented, and continuously updated security performance evaluation frameworks. They review whether organizations implement structured security performance tracking methodologies enforce continuous risk assessment updates, and integrate cybersecurity performance evaluation into enterprise governance models. If an organization fails to review cybersecurity strategy outcomes, auditors may issue findings highlighting gaps in security performance measurement, weak cybersecurity risk assessment practices, and failure to align cybersecurity investments with business risk management priorities. To verify compliance, auditors seek specific types of evidence. Cybersecurity strategy review reports and security performance benchmarking documentation demonstrate that organizations formally define structured security performance evaluation processes. Risk intelligence analysis reports and cybersecurity risk assessment updates provide insights into whether organizations proactively track cybersecurity risks and adjust security strategies based on real-time data. Incident response evaluation records and security control effectiveness reports show whether organizations systematically analyze cybersecurity outcomes, ensuring that security investments align with evolving business needs and risk exposure levels. A compliance success scenario could involve a global financial institution that undergoes an audit and provides evidence that cybersecurity strategy reviews are fully established, ensuring that structured security performance evaluations are conducted regularly, cybersecurity maturity assessments inform security refinements, and security governance remains aligned with emerging cyber threats and compliance requirements. Auditors confirm that cyber risks are continuously assessed, cybersecurity policies are regularly refined based on performance outcomes, and cybersecurity governance frameworks remain optimized to support long-term enterprise security resilience. In contrast, an organization that fails to conduct structured cybersecurity performance reviews, neglects security strategy outcome tracking, or lacks formal security performance measurement frameworks may receive audit findings for poor cybersecurity oversight, ineffective security investment planning, and failure to integrate cybersecurity risk assessments into enterprise-wide governance. Organizations face multiple barriers in ensuring cybersecurity strategy reviews are conducted effectively. One major challenge is lack of cybersecurity performance measurement frameworks, where organizations fail to define key performance indicators, KPIs, for cybersecurity effectiveness, making it difficult to assess whether security strategies achieve desired risk mitigation outcomes. Another challenge is failure to integrate cybersecurity strategy reviews into enterprise decision-making, where security assessments are conducted in isolation from business planning, limiting executive engagement and prioritization of cybersecurity investments. A final challenge is over-reliance on compliance-based security assessments, where organizations focus solely on regulatory checklists rather than implementing dynamic, real-time cybersecurity performance evaluations. Organizations can overcome these barriers by developing structured cybersecurity performance tracking models, ensuring that cybersecurity strategy reviews are continuously refined based on real-time risk intelligence, and integrating security performance benchmarking into enterprise-wide governance models. Investing in AI-driven security performance analytics, predictive cybersecurity risk modeling platforms, and continuous cybersecurity outcome tracking solutions ensures that organizations dynamically assess, monitor, and refine cybersecurity strategies based on evolving threat landscapes and business transformations. Standardizing cybersecurity strategy review processes across departments, subsidiaries, and external business partners ensures that security governance frameworks are consistently applied, reducing exposure to cyber risks and strengthening enterprise-wide cybersecurity resilience. By embedding cybersecurity strategy performance evaluation into enterprise risk management strategies, organizations enhance security accountability, improve regulatory compliance, and ensure sustainable cybersecurity strategy refinement in an evolving cyber threat landscape. That wraps up today's discussion on framework. Don't stop here. Head over to cyberauthor.me to explore more cybersecurity topics and discover a best-selling book covering NIST and other critical cyber frameworks. Please like, rate, and review this episode on Apple and Spotify. Until next time, remember that knowledge is power.